I just had a friend message me asking me something about like a game. It made me realize he was going to buy it online, and it just doesn't seem like a game unless it comes in a cartridge or at the very least a disc. Like if you're like downloading something online, that just doesn't seem right. Ah yes, more paint markers. This is the only internet show with a morning roundup. You will never find another one. This is just your pedestrian, mundane, everyday Celtic Skull trash can. I already took some of the other stuff off, but there was other stuff. I thought this D20 would be done by now, but it's doing like the last couple layers on the top. And as you can see, came out brilliantly. This is a new reptile alien, never been seen before by anyone, and it's gonna be pretty awesome. The last reptile alien I reprinted because it just didn't quite come out good enough. Gotta keep it nice for the customers, but this guy is done. Here. It's a beautiful boy right there. The pipe trash can is getting done admirably. The other D20 printed like a champ, just smooth and silky and nice. With this machine, I am predicting a nozzle clog, and I do not know yet. Okay, there isn't much of one. Well, we're gonna change out the nozzle and stuff anyway. We've got some big things to ship today, so we are going to Lowe's. Once more, we play our dangerous game. There's a famous figure in the English legal tradition named Lord Acton. I always thought it'd be fun to have some kind of comic book like superhero that's like justice themed or judge themed and call him Lord Action. DUNKINRUN Dunk and Run. No one punks the dunk. There was a Tex-Mex place back there that said on its sign, now serving margarita. It'd be really funny if they were just talking about a person named Margarita. L-O-W-E. This cart is really messed up. Where do messed up carts go when they die? Big Papa no stoppa. Heck yeah. Coffinality. Oh man, they're playing banger after banger. I kind of hate most of Madonna's music, but early Madonna freaking bangs. Somebody's got an old silver Nova or something like that. One of these days, I'm gonna have my vintage ride. I grew up in the Midwest, more or less. I've moved 50 times, but I lived in the Midwest the most. And like growing up, there was kind of no status symbol like having a really nice restored muscle car. For me, it was the Corvette, for sure, like the C3 Corvettes from the 70s. I love the 60s vets too. I mean, I pretty much like all the Corvettes. But yeah, that was just the thing. It's like, it kind of screamed, I have a good job, or I'm really handy, or whatever it said about you, it was something good. So like, one of these days, it's gonna be me. I've kind of thought about why that might be. It seems like there's sort of a variety of reasons. One thing in Indiana, it's like extremely flat. If you've never been to Indiana, it's probably the flattest state in the country, if I had to guess. I don't know, I've never seen a flatter state. There's parts of Texas that are pretty flat. But the point is, the country roads just go straight in a line. And so, it's not legal to do this, of course, but people race on them all the time. Especially if it's like, the crops aren't high and you can see way to the end. It's not that dangerous to do, because you can just see that there's nobody there. And that's kind of one of the reasons why Indiana became a racing hub of America. Also because back in the Great Depression, there was a lot of moonshiners and stuff, and people that were running booze. NASCAR came from gangsters racing their cars. Most people don't know that. Obviously, gangsters wanted faster cars than the police, so that's how that started. But yeah, because of that, and just because like a lot of muscle cars were built there, you know, the Midwest was like the manufacturing place for American muscle. I think that's a variety of factors that contributed to muscle cars being like a real status symbol in that part of the country. Back at the shop, just realized I'm feeling really good today. I don't know why, and I'm not gonna question it. A while back, I paid like 40 bucks for these pillows for my couch. I feel like I should just appreciate them. Also, remember the episode where we got this? That was pretty cool. All right, let's get that shark money. Sharko. Gray Sharky boy. Oh yeah. Mail pickup, baby. It's a full car today. Oh yeah, home away from home. Feels good to get that done. I think tomorrow we're going to Lufkin for that thrift store trip. I think I didn't do it last time, so this is over a month since I've done the thrift store circuit in Lufkin. Mailman saw me pulling out of here and waved to me. You gotta love small towns. You sure didn't get that in Austin. There's a street around here called Logansport, and there's a Logansport, Indiana. It's like a lot of other Indiana towns, like Peru, Indiana, or Bloomington, or some of the other ones, where like there used to be good manufacturing jobs there, a lot of like factory jobs and stuff, and there just isn't anymore. It's been a long time since I lived there at this point, but as of 20 years ago, you could go to Logansport, Indiana, and like get these houses that would be like $500,000 houses for nothing, you know, just very, very cheap. Grissom, Indiana is another one. Kokomo, where I grew up, had like a bunch of factories back in the day, but had 2 or 3, so they were just hanging on. But all these other places, it was just like absolutely horrible. I used to live in the Carolinas, and in Gastonia, North Carolina, they had this old textile mill that I was really wanting to shoot a music video at for a long time. And there was this band that I kind of knew called the Paper Tongues. If you think about popular music a little more than 10 years ago, you might remember the Paper Tongues. They had a couple of hits, and they did shoot a music video there. This old textile mill was super cool. If you just search like textile mill, Gastonia, North Carolina, you'll probably find it. Or look at a bunch of the Paper Tongues music videos on YouTube. But anyway, it just had these giant rolls of textiles that were kind of sitting on the ground outside. Like each one of these rolls was like 20, it was like 20 feet, 30 feet high. And they were just sitting there rotting. And it just looked like some dystopian apocalypse thing, like just one day like that, they just shut down that factory. It just makes you think, like, man, we used to really make stuff here in America. Okay, I wasn't even gonna put this in here, but I went to the thrift store real quick, just a nib. Signed Uncle Kracker poster. Also, and perhaps just as important, enough screwing around. Let's just go back to the shop. I heard he could read ancient Sanskrit without sounding out the vowels. I mean, it's something. Burger toast with quesadilla cheese and Polynesian sauce. Time to package some more stuff. We're gonna paint the eyes on this beautiful boy. Longtime viewers might remember when I offered the pink shark. We finally sold one. Not bad. Not bad. Time to do the thing again. This time we have a fine vintage, a cherry cola from the large K. This song is so good. Kind of a random thought, but I was just remembering something. One of the best indicators of who's like a real friend, or the best indications of a quality relationship, is what happens when you talk about something good that's happened to you, or maybe more specifically, something that you've accomplished. Because like, there's so many people who will be very friendly and will say all kinds of things, but the moment that you like achieve something that they want to achieve, or you have something that they want to have, you should pay attention to how they handle that. Now, the caveat I would put with that is, of course, you need to be reciprocal. And if like that happens on the other side, if they accomplish something that you've been wanting a long time and you're kind of bitter about it, or even if, you know, if you're not genuinely happy for them, basically, you know, you need to check yourself and you need to be reciprocal and not be entitled. But all that being said, like, if they kind of, even if they act like they're happy for you, but they don't really celebrate it, you know, that means a lot. Even if it's like the best case scenario is, let's say they're with some other group of people and it becomes relevant for them to talk about something you did that's a big accomplishment. If there's like a opportunity for them to do that and it's really obvious and it's like something that you would bring up if you were in their situation, they don't do it. Especially if you kind of see that look in their eyes, like they're thinking it but just not saying it. That's a big indicator right there. Some of you have asked to see more about the design process. There's some stuff I'm not going to show because those are my secrets, but this is an octopus I just did, and this is going to be a wall octopus. As in, like, I want it to print it on the bed of the big printers and make it one piece that just hangs on the wall like that. It'll probably be, you know, pretty big. But what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to make it so I can do a plane cut across all of these tentacles. You can see that I've arranged these tentacles so that they're like pretty close to totally horizontal at the bottom, so that I can cut the bottom of them and have a flat surface, but also be able to cut it so that when it's on the wall, it doesn't look like there's a substantial portion of the tentacles that are gone. So this is the plane cut tool, and what we're gonna do is just lower this until we get to the point where a little bit of the bottoms of each of the tentacles are cut off. You really got to be like delicate with this. Maybe about there. Now we're going to look. All the green areas are the parts that are going to be on the build surface. They need to be broad enough that it's going to support this entire thing as it prints, but minimal enough so that when this thing is on a wall, it still looks like a pretty normal, good-looking octopus. And this is actually probably a pretty good balance. So what you want to do is accept, and then we're going to get another look at it. So this is looking pretty normal. Yeah, it turns the different surfaces colors. I would say this is pretty good. Like I could picture this printing and it looking pretty good. Also, it's okay for a little bit to be cut off, because maybe you could kind of imagine this as like coming out of the water, and just a little bit of it is still in the water. But yeah, I think this is basically ready for printing. We'll save this, put it into a slicer program. Also, these slopes, like, they don't look like overhangs to me. You have to know your printers to understand overhangs. There actually might be an overhang here, so I might adjust this a bit. In Mesh Mixer, you kind of select a portion of it, and then what I like to do is go to the Deform Soft Transform tool. Then you put in fall off. You might adjust the amount. When you hit enter, it grabs more of it. And the reason you want this is because then you can adjust this. And you'll notice this is gonna push it in a bit. Maybe we won't do it quite that extreme, but you can kind of rotate this. And we're gonna just sort of adjust these handles and stuff until we get something that still looks pretty normal, but you'll notice there is no 90-degree overhang here. That's still looking like a classic Octopus. So yeah, there you go. Once you're kind of done, you go to export, and we're gonna find some place to save this. The more complex the object, the longer it takes to save, but that didn't take super long. I use an old version of Cura. The reason I use this version is because it loads super quickly, and like, why do you need a new version? It's just a slicing program. So anyway, you get it in there, and for me, I like to kind of look at it like this. Then we're going to adjust it so that we can maximize the size. Looks like it's gonna kind of fit in there semi-diagonally. Then we're just gonna scale it up to the absolute maximum. One little tip is if you're trying to get it perfectly in the build plate so that you can maximize the volume, you wanna get these numbers, you wanna rotate it this way until these numbers are about the same, and then we're going to maximize these numbers. So since this one is larger, that means we want to rotate it away from the X direction. In this case, that means we are rotating it slightly in this direction, and we've got to hold down Control while we do this. Sorry, I meant to say Shift. Okay, we've messed with it. Now you can see that the X and the Y are pretty close. So you know about what the maximum dimension for your printer is. So then you can put the larger one right about at the maximum dimension. For these S5s, it's something like 490, 489, 488. I gave it a little bit of cushion. But yeah, this will be a nice giant Octo that can print without supports, which is pretty ideal. About to get into some other stuff, but you know it's Monday and we've got to do the board again. So we got one new product last week. Almost got another one listed one of these days, but we at least got one. So the week before that we didn't have any new products, so that's not bad. I mean, we've got 2 more in the works already, plus there's more paint combinations. Like, once you get the thing printed in a 3D printing business, when you're painting, once you get the thing printed, you can paint it a bunch of different ways and make that each a different product, which is very convenient and doesn't take very long. So we just made the Octopus. That's going to be printing soon. We've got 2 new alien heads that are coming down the pike. One is painted right now and it's drying. Hopefully we can get some pictures before the end of the day. And we have another reptile alien head. So that's 3 that we are going to be listing this week, plus the paint combinations and stuff. So that's not bad. We're getting this whole new product thing turned around, especially since we've caught up on orders to a large degree. With that being said, we've got a couple of giant D20s to paint. One of these is going to be red. One of these is going to be bronze. This one's probably going to be bronze, actually. And that should look pretty cool. D20 number 2. Let's just get this little guy cleaned up. Well, at long last, here it is. This is the new alien. It's a reptilian alien. You can see the shading I did on it. I kind of wanted to maybe not improve, but do something a little more dramatic than the original alien design. So it's got elements of the sort of xenomorph. It's identifiably reptilian, but kind of has that mysterious alien look to it. This is kind of going to be like that scene in The Godfather, except completely adorable. Hey, is this seat taken? Okay. Ooh. Wow, what a day. Ugh. Man, maybe it doesn't look like I've done a lot. I don't know. But I just did a lot. It's a pretty solid day. This is the kind of day you want to have every day in a business. Got a new product listed. I don't think anything messed up. Maybe one thing. Made lots of filaments. Nothing went wrong with that. Man, just no problems. Just another solid day on the books. I was kind of hoping to get some recycling done, but it just didn't happen. But I don't actually have to do it today. I was just trying to get ahead of the game a little bit. But yeah, really, really good day in the 3D life, the 3D printing life. Let me know in the comments what you're grateful for, what you're working on, what you do. Go. Peace.